Hi, welcome to the Great Unicorn Hunt. As you know, we are having a series of conversations with very different promising founders. And today we are going to have a chat with Ankit, founder of Dare2Compete, ex-Sapient, ex-Deloitte, gamifying engagements, 2.7 million users, 1.1 million active users on a monthly basis. Some really awesome stuff happening. But I don't want to steal Ankit's thunder, so we are going to jump right into introduction and a conversation with Ankit from Dare2Compete. Hi, Ankit. Welcome to the Great Unicorn Hunt.
Hi, good afternoon, Sachin. Thank you so much for the invite. Happy to chat with you.
Great. So we'll jump straight into the rapid fire section, Ankit. What exactly is the pain point that Dare2Compete is addressing or tackling?
So essentially, Sachin, if you see all the companies, irrespective of their employee size, 100, 500, 1,000, 5,000 or so, they are looking at engaging, outreaching, and sort of engaging with their target audience. Now, this target audience might be students across domains, let's say engineering, arts and science, MBAs, or early working professionals, 0 to 5 years, or their own internal employees. Now, the objectives for engaging this massive audience might be very different. Might be for motivating their internal employees, or might be hiring the working professionals, or the students, right? Or doing just employee branding activities, right? What we are trying to do is we are trying to gamify all these interactions between the companies and students through hackathons, quizzes or so. So companies can launch hackathon and quizzes on this platform. On the other hand, we have a community of 2.7 million users, right? Which is generally students, the current students and the early working professionals who want to showcase their talent, right? Across these industries, across these opportunities, and get rewarded and hired, right? When they're doing it, they also are building their CV points. So they may not get into an opportunity by just participating, right? But it's a process. So they may have participated in 10 opportunities and 11th one they win, right? However, while they're participating, they're also creating their CV so that in their interviews, it becomes their talking point. So we're just connecting our community with the companies and educators so that everything happens on Dare2Compete, and we're solving these two bigger points as such.
Awesome. Really curious to know a little bit more about Dare2Compete. So how exactly are you executing all of this, Ankit?
Yeah. So if you see, I'll give you certain examples. So Walmart came to us. They said that, hey, we want to do an engagement with engineering women coders, right? So they only wanted to recruit girl coders. So when they reached out to us, they said that, hey, we are looking at recruiting close to about 40 odd girls or so, plus minus 10%. They said that, can you help us out? Because we want to reach out to anybody and everybody in the engineering market. So we created a hackathon, a hiring challenge that we call. We pushed across this to our community, and to our surprise, 51,000 girl coders applied for this challenge. Now, that's a massive number. This is beyond imagination in terms of Walmart as well as our own expectations. But the statement from one of the few guys said that they are surprised that even 51,000 girls are even coding and are pursuing engineering in India, right? In one particular year. So everything for this particular engagement happened on Dare2Compete. Not only the registration, but their whole funnel. So we call it an intellectualized Indian Idol. There are multiple levels that you need to cross and then go into the final interview. So there are online MCQ based quizzes, online coding, everything pretty much happened on Dare2Compete. And Walmart was so happy that eventually they were able to roll out 160 plus offers. So essentially, they were only looking at hiring about 30 to 40 girls, but they rolled out 160 offers, right? And similarly with Flipkart, we do multiple engagements for employer branding, one for B schools, one for engineering, one for arts and science. With companies, we do employee engagements as well, like Sapient, Reliance. Then we do innovation challenges. So you'll be surprised to know that Hero does innovation challenge on Dare2Compete every quarter, and the winners get actually to see their work live on their bike. So one challenge we did last year where they wanted creative graffiti on their bikes. Happy to tell you that the winner graffiti is on the bikes which are currently selling. And as per my data, I hope that's not wrong, is that every month 1 lakh bikes that are being sold is of the winner that came through this particular competition, which happened on Dare2Compete. So that's how we have been able to, let's say, gamify engagements for corporates, and students and early working professionals are hopping onto, because this is the only way they can actually get exposed to various opportunities that they don't get in their real life or during their college life as such.
Super awesome. I was about to ask you a question, but you have almost answered it. What is it that's giving you a comfort that these things are working? And I think the examples you shared just now underline that very, very thoroughly. But I'm also curious to know, Ankit, how does Dare2Compete make money?
So Dare2Compete basically make money from our whole SaaS B2B enterprise model. So whatever examples that I gave you, right, we are charging them money for the engagements that we are hosting, right? For the students we are engaging, for the assessments that they are taking. So some companies take our assessments to do campus hiring, right? This like Ether took some assessments and they did campus hiring in IITs and NITs. Marico did in IIMs, then TCPL did it in both, lateral hiring as well. So there are multiple companies using us for that, right? So they basically pay us on a per assessment per user engaged. Few companies use us for multiple engagements in a year. The example that I sort of talked about was Flipkart. Another one is HUL that does 4 engagements only for B schools, right? So then they pay us for every engagement that they do, or if they have basically done a multi-engagement contract, then that is also based on not number of users but number of engagements that they're doing onto the platform. Then we are making money from users as well, which are community. So majority of these opportunities are free of cost for users to participate in. However, there are D2C Pro membership that we launched about 2 months back itself at 1,000 rupees per year. So that's a subscription base where we are giving them certain self-paced courses, mock tests to participate in and ensure that they are upskilling themselves to be ready to participate in all these engagements as well, right? And that's selling. So we have close to 2,500 users already taken up the paid subscription only in a matter of a month or so. Yeah, so these are primary 2 models or so. Yeah.
Got it. What do you think are the upsides for a business like Dare2Compete in a very logical context, or perhaps in your wildest dreams? What do you think are the upsides?
So, I mean, imagine Sachin, right now, 90% of what we are doing is India specific, right? We are doing 2 million ARR, and in this financial year itself, till date, we have done about 2 million. Right, our monthly active users is 1.2 million of February last month itself, right? Right now we are connecting the students and early professionals of India to the Indian companies, right? Imagine if we connect the world's community among each other, right? So irrespective of the company size, so we just did an engagement with Exino, a company which is 120 employees, right? They wanted to recruit. There were 16,000 students that participated in that engagement. The company was amazed. I mean, how can we get so much of this response, right? Then basically a company irrespective of the size, right? Flipkart, Exino, Walmart, Amazon, Reliance. How about they reaching out to the students and the early working professionals of Europe, US, APAC region, and the companies in those areas reaching out for Indian talent on a common platform, and we will be able to engage, right? So our reach is that we should be able to create that community of the world so that the companies and educators can interact with anybody and everybody across the world through any engagement on Dare2Compete, and the community members across the world should be able to apply in such opportunities irrespective of the company's geographical location.
Got it. I was just curious to know, and I'm sure you're going to hear this question from a lot of investors, which is a spoken or sometimes an unspoken question, but what's the moat around this business, typically that you see?
So I'll give you a sense. So this question makes me wake up at middle of the night, right? What if IIT and IIM guys create a D2C 2.0 or whatever that name is, right? How do I ensure that that's not the case? So I think our biggest moat is our community itself, Sachin. So essentially what we have done is that we have created an whole operating system of gamified engagements. We are making money from companies and educators, but we are not making money from student organizers. So every college or every small club and committee do certain engagements. We offer them our platform free of cost. Okay, so that they can actually have all those engagements on Dare2Compete. So just to give you an example, couple of IITs, IIMs, and pretty much all the colleges in India, they do their student-specific engagements, whether intra-college or intra-college, on Dare2Compete. Okay, all the registrations or so. So what that's doing is that, let's say if IIM Ahmedabad is launching a Red Brick Summit on Dare2Compete, they are using our platform free of cost. Okay, but eventually all the users are getting engaged on Dare2Compete. Okay, so if 20,000 people applied in that just one engagement, and when I say one engagement, we have done 20,000 such engagements. Okay, this financial year itself. When we say 20,000 people were engaged, 80% of them are existing community members already, right? And the colleges pay us to get leverage of it, right? But rest 20% we acquire new users. So if you see, this is a vicious cycle, right? More events come on Dare2Compete, more users get engaged, the existing ones, more users we acquire, and because of this whole community, companies are paying us. So you can basically say that we are a Facebook of engagements now, that now it's sort of a parity for all the colleges or student organizers or companies to be on Dare2Compete. And that's the biggest mode, because you can't create a WhatsApp or an Instagram or a Facebook just like that, because those are communities. We have been able to establish that community model, which is very, very difficult to break.
Got it. I was also very curious to know a little bit more about the team that you have put together. Ankit, if you just want to share why this is such a sharp team at Dare2Compete, what makes it such an awesome team for you?
So I think, Sachin, the biggest asset that any startup can have is our team, right? So all these key members, so Tushar Mehta, who heads client engagements and operations at Dare2Compete, has been with us since the start, right? He is ex NSIT. He has worked with a couple of startups. He has done management certification from IIM Ahmedabad as well. We have our sales is head by Shivam, who is from IIM Kashipur. Our tech is head by Ratan, who has been with us for, let's say, 4 years since the start itself. Our product is head by Naman, who has been for us with last 3 years, and he's the go-to guy when we want to think about anything on the product, right? Our diversity is from Shishti, heads our design and communication. She has a bachelor's and master's in criminal psychology, right? And that's the diversity that we've been able to get along. And all these guys have been there for years with Dare2Compete. The pivot that we took last year, that gave us so much, let's say, growth of 2.7 out of 2.7 million, 1.5 we have acquired only in last 10 months. And mind you, 80% of them have been organic. So our CAC for acquiring users is negligible, right? Another mode, if I may say so, all our clients, Flipkart, Amazon, Accenture, all these big guys have come to us word of mouth, right? Only because our users become our brand ambassadors, and they basically talk about us when they go to the companies, and they reach out to us and we convert them.
Very interesting. I was curious to know what kind of customer testimonials, what kind of appreciation, approbation you have been hearing. And I know it could be a fairly long list, but if you would just like to share a few, that would be really awesome.
So I take pride in telling this, Sachin. I mean, whenever I get asked this question, right, I give users or my clients an option that, hey, go to our client page. You have all the big brands. You tell me whom do you want to speak to, and I'm sure they'll be able to speak on our behalf, and we'll talk about great things. So and that basically talks about in terms of the kind of revenue that we have been able to generate from our existing clients plus our new clients, right? So if you see the likes of Flipkart, HUL, Reliance, Accenture, all of them have been with us for a couple of years, right? But the kind of engagements that they've done this year versus last year have more than doubled up, right? That it itself will tell you that they trust us for what we are doing for them, right? People call us that, hey, so let's say Walmart, the example that I gave you, right? They were pretty much happy. And one statement, basically they said that this was the only time where the HR was able to roll out a statement that, hey, we have candidates. If you want to hire, let us know. Right? Only because they were able to offer more candidates than they were initially anticipating because of the share number, right? And that's the case with pretty much everybody. I mean, there are clients who have hired in triple digits, 280, 300, 1,000, So and they have been able to engage with thousands. So JustPay was using other platforms for these engagements, right? And they do 7 engagements, or they did 7 engagements last year. They came to us last year, said that, hey, we want to try out your platform, right? In the first engagement itself, we got them 7x the number that was the highest in those previous 7 engagements. That speaks volume, right? And suddenly they said that, hey, we want to do pretty much all the engagements at the student level with you. So I think those are the good stories, and take up any sector, right? Whether it's FMCG, e-commerce, BFSI, general management, tech companies, startups. We have all major clients working across industries.
Awesome. Coming to the final question, Ankit, is there a final wrap-up message, an elevator pitch, anything that you want to, kind of share with the audiences, as a part of this video interaction?
So the only thing that I would like to say is that Dare2Compete in last 1 year, our growth has been phenomenal, to say the least. We have been category creators in this segment. The kind of traction that we are getting, the kind of response that we are getting from industries, given where we are right now, we are just seeing, we'll be seeing about 50x to 100x growth in next 3 years itself. And this is a very, very interesting space, because this is sort of a latent need and a direct need now. Earlier it was latent, now it's becoming direct. So we are just scaling up our resources to go, and we are at an inflection point. We are just here, and now we'll sort of zoom up as soon as we basically align all our resources in next 6 to 9 months.
This is really terrific. It was awesome chatting with you, Ankit. Best of luck, best wishes for Dare2Compete, and I'm hoping that you will get spotted and hunted very soon.
Thank you, Sajjan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ankit. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Good day.